There's a difference between observing your emotions and disconnecting from them, and many people confuse the two. Witnessing your thoughts and feelings shouldn't feel like you're withdrawing from them, and if there's a coldness or distance, then something is missing. Many of us have been taught to just observe our thoughts and feelings. And as someone who's trained a lot in mindfulness-based therapy models, I too have come across this and taught my clients this concept of being the observer of your thoughts and feelings. But when there's an intellectual distancing, a sense of emotional suppression, or even a subtle dissociation that comes from pulling back into an observing state, then we're not really achieving what the process of observing, witnessing, bringing mindfulness to an experience is meant to bring us. And yeah, I've certainly come across numerous clients that unwittingly fall into this trap and report to be living a life that they're just standing back and witnessing and observing, but not engaging, not living their life fully because of this detached way of operating. And so really true witnessing doesn't involve disconnecting from anything. It involves staying with your experience while it's unfolding, staying with your emotions, not pulling back from them. I think perhaps you can, or we can, get away with distancing from thoughts, perhaps with less side effect, so to speak, the concept that some therapy models refer to as diffusion, the process of separating from your thoughts. I like to explain it in terms of, say, two pieces of metal that have fused together, in this sense that the you that's observing and the you that's thinking feel like one. Whereas diffusion is this sense that the observer and the thought are now separate, diffused from it. And having a diffused attitude towards thoughts, particularly when they're harsh, negative, or clearly unhelpful, has its benefits. But at the same time, if that same diffused, observing attitude is brought in too heavily, we can miss opportunities to really still engage with the parts of us that are trying to tell us something and don't necessarily require a complete disconnection. Yet when it comes to emotions, I would say the separating from or disconnecting from the emotions is far from what is helpful. Trying to, say, observe an emotion from a distance generally has a sense of trying to push it away or trying to not be with it, deny the existence of it or the experience of it. So when it comes to emotions, that process of observing from a distance certainly has many more pitfalls. And so this is where mindfulness really, can be dangerous if applied in a way that has this numbing, distant flavor to it. And hence the importance of bringing in the heart, bringing in the concept of dropping into heart or bringing warmth or compassion at the same time as pulling into a more observing or witnessing space to your inner experience. And for me, I've played with a metaphor that I picked up many years ago, one called or one known as the sky versus the weather metaphor. Some of you may have come across it. So the sky and the weather metaphor is that the you that is observing is effectively the sky, and the weather are our thoughts and feelings. And this essence of us that is like the sky is stable, unchanging, non-judgmental, and the weather, being our thoughts and feelings, constantly changes. And from the perspective of the sky, we can create some separation from particularly experiences that are painful and unpleasant. But as I've already outlined, there can be dangers if that is done purely as a retreat mechanism. So this is where I naturally just thought, well, how can I bring in another aspect to this metaphor that brings in not just the non-judgmental witness, an observer of our experience, but warmth. And so obviously, hopefully, the sun is a beautiful addition, I find, to this metaphor, whereby the sun is always in the sky during the day, of course. And so those two elements, the sky and the sun, are constantly there in daytime hours. The weather changes and we don't always get clear view of the sun, but the sun never leaves. So having this metaphor of reconnecting with this essence of who we are that is both non-judgmental and stable and wise witness of everything, combined with this warm, compassionate, loving essence, is, to me, a beautiful way to really embody the concept of being the warm, supportive, non-judgmental observer. And as some of you who watch my other videos know, I am all about helping those of you that choose to watch to embody the concepts that I speak to in these videos. And so, of course, that's what I would love to do right now. Take you through a little exercise, one that I use very frequently in my work, and hopefully one that you're willing to take the time to experience with me right now. Because knowing and living or embodying are two very different things, and even if you've experienced an exercise like this one before, repetition certainly is beneficial in my belief around continuing to embody at a level that really makes a difference in our everyday lives. So, if you would like to just take a moment, pause the video if you need to settle in and be willing to close your eyes. And take a moment just to feel into presence. Perhaps that's feeling your feet on the ground, or being more aware of the breath. Just witnessing it as it is, expanding and contracting your chest and abdomen. And already you're coming into an observing, noticing space just by witnessing your breath. And I'd now like to invite you to be more observant of your thoughts. And to do this, I'm going to start some sentences and invite you to complete them, not out loud, but silently, inside yourself. And notice where it feels like the answers or the completion of these statements comes from. So silently complete these statements. My full name is. My date of birth is. My address is. And just notice where it felt like the answers came from. Maybe it felt like the words came from the middle of your skull, lower down, maybe the back of your mouth, your throat, the front of your head, the back. There's no right or wrong spot. Just notice approximately where those responses came from. And I now invite you to do the same for the name of someone that you love. And just check to see whether the response or the answer comes from the same spot. The name of someone I love is. Could be a person or pet or someone that's alive or past. But again, just check. It might have been the exact same spot where that name came from, or it might be slightly different. Just notice. And now pay attention to or notice where the replay of the things that you've done today or yesterday prior to watching this video play out. So just get a little mind movie summary of what you've done earlier today, or if you're just starting your day, what you did yesterday. And just play the little summary in your mind, like a little movie reel. Doesn't matter if you're vivid with the pictures or whether they're very fuzzy and hazy. Just notice. Notice where the pictures play out. It might feel like it's out in front of your eyes, in behind your eyes, in your forehead, in the middle of your head, the back of your head. There's no right or wrong yet again. And just notice. And what I'd really like you to take a moment to be very aware of is for you to have been able to approximately locate those verbal thoughts and those picture thoughts. There had to be another you experiencing the noticing, or you could say doing the noticing, even though it's not really doing, experiencing the noticing. Just like watching TV, you're not the TV screen or a computer screen, you're the observer. Listening to a radio, you are not the radio, you are the observer of the radio. You just did the same thing with your own thoughts. If you can notice the thoughts, you can't be the thoughts. These thoughts come from parts of you, but they're not the only you. There's this other you, taking it all in, witnessing, noticing, not trying to problem solve, not trying to fix anything, not analysing, just there, experiencing it all. This is you as the sky. The neutral, non-judgmental witness to it all. And see if you can have a sense of where the you that's noticing is noticing from. It might be the middle of your skull, the back of your head. It might feel like up above your head or behind you. There's no right or wrong. Just get a sense of where you're observing from. For many of you, it'll probably feel like it's unfolding from somewhere up in the head or behind the head. And so now, what I'd like you to imagine or pretend or play with is pretending that you can bring, or imagining that you can bring the you that's observing down. If it's up in the head, down, down, through the head, through the skull, through the jaw, through the throat, down the neck, into your chest and into your heart. And feeling your awareness just settle with warmth in your heart. And that there is light there. That your own inner sun naturally resides in your heart. It doesn't matter how big your sun feels, whether it feels small or large. Just tuning in and knowing that there's a natural warmth and love in you as the observer, not just neutrality, but warmth. And experience this moment in your heart as the sky and the sun. Non-judgmental and compassionate. And this is who you really are. This is the essence of you. An essence that some might refer to as self. Others might wish to call it soul. The name does not matter. Just feel into this natural, effortless space of you experiencing purely and warmly. And know that you can find your way back to this space. Even if it's only for a glimpse, for a brief moment. And now start to bring your awareness more to the external world again, feeling your surroundings again, and bringing that gentle, stable sense of you as the observer back into the external world with your eyes open. Thank you for participating in that exercise. It's one I use a lot, and one that I find to be incredibly powerful and simple, and a metaphor that I think we can all come back to over and over again. And so, in closing, observing and noticing. Should never feel detached, should never feel cold. It should always be infused with warmth, or we know that we are aligned with a coherent state when it is infused with warmth and we're able to stay with what we're experiencing. And the more that we practice staying with compassion and warmth with whatever our inner experience is bringing us, the more we bring coherence to you.